Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good afternoon to everyone. Okay, I am Madam Nura Akmal binti Muhammad Saleh. You can call me Madam Akmal only. And I will be conducting this class as C015 of Computer Science 1 subject. Okay, so before we start our lesson today, I am going to give you a brief the introduction of this course class, which is related to our syllabus that will be covered during this semester. Okay, so now I will show you the table of contents of our syllabus. There are 7 topics that will be covered. Number 1, computer system. And okay, if you refer to the last column, LTP, and in the bracket got hours there. Okay, L for lecture, T for Astaghfirullah. T for tutorial, P for practicum. Sorry guys. Okay. For computer system, 8 hours is allocated. 16 hours for tutorial and 12 hours for amali. Okay, topic 2, internet technology, 10 hours for lecture, 5 hours for tutorial, and there is no class for practical. There is no amali. Okay, tutorial 3, chapter 3, computer ethics and security, which is 4 hours for lecture, 8 hours for tutorial, and there is no class for amali. Topic 4, multimedia. No class for lecture, no class for tutorial, but we have 10 hours for amali, for practical. Okay, for your information, one session of practicals is 2 hours. Means that there are 5 classes, 5 sessions for 10 hours. Okay, 5th, database. No class for lecture, no class for tutorial, but we have 6 hours for practical. Topic C, system development life cycle, 2 hours for lecture, 3 hours for tutorial, and also there is no practicum as well. And the last one is topic 7, introduction to programming, 4 hours for lecture, 4 hours for tutorial, and again we have no class for practical. Okay, class. Now we go to the 1.0 computer systems. Iman, switch off the television. Okay, computer system. Under this topic 1.0, there are 6 subtopics will be covered. There are system concept, number system and representation, information coding scheme, and logic gate and simple logic circuit, hardware, and last is software. Okay, system concept. At the end of this topic, students should be able to explain the operation involved in information processing cycle, IPC. Okay, there are 4 processes involved class. There are input, process, output, and storage. And also student must be able to analyze the use of IPC in today's technology. Okay, computer. First of all, we need to know what it does mean by computer. Definition of computer. Computer is an electronic device that can accept data, process the data, produce result, and store result for future use. Okay, so computer actually is a machine class, electronic device. And basically, and there are four basic process that can be done by computer. Okay. Computer process data into information. Okay, data and the information is a different class. Okay, now we look at what data means. Data is a collection of unprocessed text, numbers, image, audio, and video. And information is data that is organized, meaningful, and useful. Okay, components of a computer. There are two main components of a computer in class. A computer uses hardware and software to process data into information. Okay, and there are four types of hardware that are input devices such as mouse, keyboard, scanner. Okay, input devices, whatever device that we use for entering the data into computer. Okay, processing devices refer to CPU, control processing unit. Output devices such as monitor, printer, storage devices such as pen drive, hard disk, CD, and many more examples. Okay, now we are moving on IPC, information processing cycle. Okay, the definition of IPC is the sequence of events in processing information, which includes input, process, output, and storage. And it is the cycle of basic operation done by a computer in processing data into information. Okay, class. Basic operation, class. Cooperation of IPC. For operation of IPC, input, process, output, and storage. And now we are going to focus of each operation. Okay, first operation, input. Computer accepts data or instruction entered by user. Okay, this is a process which is user will enter the data into computer by using the input devices. Then data may be entered or captured electronically for processing by using various input devices such as computer keyboard, barcode reader, scanner, or output from another system. So the data here need to be captured to be processed to produce the information. Okay, second operation is process. Okay, what's happened under this phase? Computer perform operation on the data to produce information, and the operation performed on data may involve arithmetic. Okay, sometimes maybe it's involve comparison, or sometimes it can involve the logical operation, which are usually done by central processing unit in a computer. Okay, all these operations done by CPU. CPU will process all the data that enter into computer to produce information. Okay. Third operation of IPC is output. Okay, computer present or deliver the result of data processing to user. Okay, the result or output may be presented in many forms such as printer or displays information in the form of audio as well as video, and even in the form of movement. So whatever information that are produced when the data is processed, it is known as an output. Okay, and the last operation of IPC is a storage. Okay, why we need to store the data, the information? Because computer will save data, program, or output for future use. Okay, and storage can be done on hard disks, pen drives, compact disks, or other storage media. Okay, now I'm going to show you the basic diagram of IPC. Okay, we know that there are four processes of IPC, which is that are input and then process, output, and storage. So the diagram is shown. Okay, all the forms used are fixed. For input and output, the forms used are parallelogram, and process we use the form of rectangle, and for storage we use the form of cylinder. And then from input to process, there is single direction. Process to output also single direction, but for process to storage and from storage to process, there are both direction. What does mean, class? Okay, once the data is processed to produce the information, after that the information will be stored in the storage, and when we want to recall the information that we stored, so it will call from storage to the process. That's why the directions are in both sides. Okay, process to storage and storage to process. Okay, so this is the diagram of IPC. Now we moving on. Okay, analysis of IP operation. Okay, actually after this, all the slide will show you the example of analysis of IPC operation in our daily life. Okay, class. So now the question, example 1, there are four examples will be given. So a user withdraw money at ATM machine. Explain the operations of IPC during this activity. So try to imagine that you are going to do the process of withdraw. You are going to withdraw some amount of money. So what's the actions need to be taken from the beginning till the end? Okay, so now we must be able to analyze the application of IPC with this situation. Okay, so we look at the answer. Okay, operation of input. What's happened under this phase, class? The computer accept the data stored in the debit credit card, which is read by the ATM card reader. Okay, of course, first of all, we need to enter our card into the machine, and then the machine or the computer will check either the card match or not with the ATM card reader number. So the computer accepts data such as PIN number, transaction type, and amount of money entered by user through keypad. Okay, on the surface of ATM machine. Then the second operation is process. Okay, which is the computer checks whether the PIN number match the data stored in the card or not, and the computer will check whether there is sufficient balance in user's account, and the computer updates the user account balance after the money is withdrawn. Okay, output. The computer prints the receipt of transaction made. Okay, and the computer dispenses the money through the cash dispenser. So the money that we receive also considered as the output. And storage, the computer saves the user's account balance after the money is withdrawn. So the computer, the machine will update the user's account balance after the transaction is done. Okay, that's first example. Now we are moving on. Example 2, by do the analysis of IPC operation in toll payment using touch and go card. Okay, so the situation given is a user makes the payment at the highway toll using touch and go card. Explain the operation of IPC during this activity. So try to imagine this situation, class, from the beginning till the end. Okay, first, input the computer. The machine accept data in touch and go card such as location, date, time, and current balance of the card. So if there is no problem, so it will go to the second operation, which is process, which is the computer deducts the amount of toll payment from the current balance. And what's happened in the phase of output? The toll bar is lifted. The computer displays the card latest balance on the display panel. And the last operation, which is storage, computer will save the card balance, time, and also the location into the user's touch and go account. Okay. Then this is the third example, analysis of IPC operation in vending machine. Vending machine is the machine we use to buy the drinks. Okay, the drinks. Okay, example 3. A customer buy a drink from a vending machine. Analyze the operation of IPC during this activity. Okay, so again we need to do the analysis which is related to IPC operations. Okay, input, the machine accept the amount of money inserted and the option of drink selected by the customer. Okay, the user will enter the amount of money and it will process. The customer will choose and class will select the drinks that they want and process. The machine checks whether the money inserted is sufficient for the drink chosen. Okay, so this the phase of process. The machine checks whether the money inserted is sufficient for the drink chosen. Okay, if yes, go to the third phase, the third operation, which is output. The machine dispenses the drink box and the machine returns the change if any. Mean, for example, let's say the drink, the price is RM1.50. If the user enter RM2, so got the balance, got the change another 50 cents, so the machine will return. Okay, and storage, the machine will save the amount of money received and the amount of drink left. Okay, and the last one, for example, 4, this is the analysis of IPC operation in business activity. Okay, class, try to understand this example. Miss Bella sells coffee to 3 customers. Of the customer makes the payment at the same time. The first customer deposit 100 and the second customer deposit 220 ringgit into her account at 2 different ATM machines. Okay, class. Then her third customer paid another 100 ringgit by cash at her shop. Miss Bella account balance before those transactions is 200 ringgit. Okay, so class, what is the question? Analyze the process and storage of Miss Bella's bank account during that time. So now the question is analyze the process and storage. Okay, just analyze the process and storage means that this is the operation of process and storage, which is number process. We have input, process, output. Okay, second and fourth, second and last class, second and last operation of IPC. So class, when we provide the question, it's only focus on process and storage. So we just give the figures involved in the questions. So we give the example. We give the answer like this as shown. Operation for process, the machine adds 100 to 200, and then the machine adds 220 ringgit to 300. Okay, now the machine save 520 ringgit into Bella's account. So that now we just focus on process and storage. And okay, okay, got the keyword here class, which is we must explain using specific data for scenarios which involve figures, the amount, the numbers involved in the question, in the situation. Okay, so class, already given for examples in our note. So this is the last part of our lecture today, which is a summary. Okay, first is the IPC. This IPC, this is the definition again. The sequence of events involved in processing of information. Operation involves there are four, right? Input, process, output, storage, and try to recall the diagram, the diagram of IPC class. Okay, and I think that's all for our lecture today, because this is 1.2 number system and representation will be presenting on our next class, next lecture, inshallah. So that's all for today. I hope if you have any question, you can ask me in our WhatsApp group. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.